There's a saying that goes, habits change your life, not motivation. Change your habits, change your life. Hi, I'm Angie, and here are the 3 habits I built in my 20s that have laid the foundation to set me up financially in my 30s and beyond. And these are the habits that anyone can start to do today.
Habit number 1, track and budget my money. I used to think budgeting was all about restriction, cutting out fun things like dining out, spontaneous shopping sprees, and experiences with friends. So I avoided budgeting for as long as I could. But despite working longer hours and picking up overtime shifts, I watched my savings slowly disappear. It wasn't until I drained my bank account out that I realized I had no idea where my money was going. 0. If you had asked me what I spent my money on that week, I would not have been able to tell you. That was a wake-up call. I was already halfway through college and I didn't want to graduate broke. So I needed to make a change. I had heard of this thing called budgeting, but it wasn't something anyone in my life actually did or actively talked about. So I turned to YouTube and started learning how to budget my paychecks. I began with a pen and paper, listing out my income and expenses, dividing them into needs and wants. This simple habit became part of my weekly routine. What surprised me the most was that budgeting didn't feel restrictive. It felt empowering. It gave me clarity, peace of mind, and most of all, control over my finances. For me, budgeting eventually helped me save close to $100,000 in my 20s, even while choosing to prioritize travel. Of course, everyone's goals look different. Saving and traveling was mine, but for others, it might be paying off debt, supporting family, or something else entirely. What matters is building the habit of being intentional with your money. I'm now more intentional with every dollar I spend, and this habit is definitely one I'm continuing into the future. The second financial habit that I built in my 20s is to pay myself first. Now, what does that mean? It means every time my paycheck comes in, I would transfer an amount to my own savings through an automated deposit from my checking account to my savings account for the future me, because I gotta look after her too. For me, that was 20% because the majority of my paycheck went to supporting my family. But make sure you find out what percentage works best for you. Even if it's under 20%, it's still significant. Then, only after I have paid my future self do I start to pay my money to everyone else. Rent, utilities, electrical, groceries, entertainment, and shopping. This concept of paying myself first is strange because we often see the paycheck that hits our account as the amount we got paid. While that is true, we don't get to keep 100% of that paycheck. A larger amount of that paycheck may often go towards your bills and general life expenses. So this idea of paying myself first is to first reserve a portion of your paycheck for the future you and then spend the rest of your remaining paycheck as you please. During my first job, I did the reverse. I romanticized the treat yourself culture. I was sold on the belief that treating myself 100% looks like spending money on myself all the time. I would get my paycheck, buy the things I wanted to buy, pay my bills, and then realize I had just a few dollars left over. And by a few dollars, I mean less than $5 left over each month. I continuously put off saving for the future me so that present day me can spend all that she wants. But this wasn't sustainable. I was saving nothing and I was always feeling guilty. Then for 3 months, I decided to pay myself first. I dedicated 20% of my paycheck each month to be auto-deposited into my savings account, so I didn't even need to think about it. It would just happen automatically once I got my paycheck. All I knew was that I got to spend whatever was left in my checking account after the transfer happened, so I did not have to feel guilty about my spending. After a year, I personally saved about $10,000 by consistently paying myself first each month. Paying myself first sets a tone financially so that I can live my current life while investing in my future self, making sure that future me has what she needs financially to withstand anything life decides to throw at her. And that brings me to habit number 3, living below my means and avoiding lifestyle inflation. I wish I could say that I always lived below my means, which helped me avoid lifestyle inflation, but that cannot be further from the truth. In my early 20s, I was chasing the newest, latest gadgets and designer bags. I definitely did not need a new phone every year or a new handbag every season, but I simply wanted to buy them because everyone else had them. I soon realized that as the years went on, with each pay raise I was getting, I was not saving any extra money. In fact, I was starting to save less money because I let my spending match my income and letting my lifestyle inflate with every paycheck. Lifestyle inflation is often hard to spot because as I earn more, I used to think, yes, I can finally afford this and finally can afford that. But rarely do I think to myself, yes, I can finally save some more of my paycheck. During the past few years, I have avoided lifestyle inflation with 3 simple tips. 1. Not moving to a nicer apartment right after I got my first full-time job. 2. Not updating my wardrobe or making a big purchase with every bonus check. And 3. Keeping my life purchases and bills the same despite being able to afford a more expensive phone plan or even just higher quality rain boots. Living below my means and prioritizing my savings doesn't just mean putting my money away to keep it in a treasure chest forever. Prioritizing my savings allowed me to reach my personal savings goals for multiple areas of my life that give me energy and bring me joy, such as traveling, hobbies, and team sports, and that may look different for you. What helped me shift my mindset was realizing that saving money isn't restrictive. It's actually empowering. Every dollar that I save gets redirected into areas of my life that bring me joy and allows me to reward myself with new experiences. Now let's budget your first paycheck you get together. Here's how I would do it. Step number 1, break down your expenses. What are your fixed expenses and what are your variable costs? Write these numbers down either on paper or digital budget and start budgeting, aka put your earned money into buckets that make sense for you. Here's how I budget my paycheck to stay on top of my finances, pay myself first, and hit my savings goals. 20% goes to savings and investing, 30% goes to rent or mortgage, 15% goes towards transportation. So this includes monthly bus pass, car insurance, car payment, gas, anything transportation related you're putting in this budget. 20% goes to food or needs, and 15% goes to travel, self-development, or any wants. And of course, if you don't spend this last 15%, this can be incorporated into the first bucket of 20% as extra savings if not used. Step number 2, set up a system to pay yourself first. Auto deposit your savings every single month. That is one thing less on your to-do list. Step number 3, look into ways to grow your savings without having to work harder or get another job. Look into putting your savings into a high-yield savings account to earn you better interest, or you can also look into see if your company offers any retirement savings account where you can contribute an amount and the company will match your contribution, aka free money. And step number 4, check in every month on your budget to see how your spending is trending. Once I had a savings goal in mind, it was incredibly motivating to see my savings grow closer and closer to that number, and it genuinely made me excited to keep paying myself. Now it's your next move to use these 3 habits and tips to start setting yourself up financially today. Just remember, every little bit of savings will help you make financial progress.